Hello, I'm Harper Carroll, Director of AI, ML, and Developer Relations at Trace Machina, which makes NativeLink. Today, we're going to talk about what is remote caching. So remote caching in the context of a build system is when you store your build, the results of your build, on a remote machine. So not your local machine that you are working on, but a machine somewhere else. And so what you can do then is you can save the results of your previous builds, or perhaps your coworkers' previous builds, or people you're working on a project with, and share them and only build the parts that are changed. So you have these artifacts, as in the results of the builds, stored on these remote machines. You can pull it down and change only what needs to be changed. Now, we can talk about pulling down and actually building in the next video when we talk about what is remote execution. But for now, let's just focus on the cache, which is this saved version of your old builds. Again, so it's saved, it's stored in this remote machine, and you only have to change the parts that have changed. One thing that's really great about remote caches is that you can share them, as I said, with your teammates. So if your teammates build or make a change, they can push that to the remote cache, and then that's been built already for you, and you don't have to redo it. So you're saving a lot of compute because you only build the parts that change. You're saving time. You're distributing the builds across your team. And you're also making it safe in a remote environment. So if something happens to your machine, you have it stored somewhere else. Let's talk about how remote caching works. Step 1, the build tool creates a graph of the required targets that need to be built, and then creates a list of actions that need to be taken to build those targets. Step 2, the build tool checks your local machine for any build outputs and reuses those if it finds any that are relevant. Step 3, the build tool checks the cache, the remote cache, for build outputs, and if so, it uses those, and this is called a cache hit, so it means that it's able to reuse a portion of the cache and doesn't have to rebuild it again. Step 4, for required actions where there are not prior caches found that you can reuse the artifacts, those steps are executed locally or remotely, which we will get to with remote execution. And step 5, the build outputs are uploaded to the remote cache. So I hope this is helpful, and let's move on to what is remote execution.